Thank you so much for joining us today. Rick, it's a pleasure to have you here. In this space where we dive into AI, business, and the future of industries, but always keeping it human, approachable, and meaningful. And today we get to add a little jazz to that mix. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Really good, really excited to be with you today because you are a famous person. And that's why I want to dive. This channel is about AI, everything about AI. It's maybe 100% tech. And I wanted to touch with you something that we heard every day, and AI now it's being involved into it. So it's music. How are you, Rick? Where are you from? Where are you right now?
Well, right now I'm in Times Square, Manhattan, right in the middle of
Oh,
everything. So it really, crazy energy here. Lots of, people from all around the world come here. And then I also have my little neighborhood friends from, it's called Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if you ever hear these terms, but there's Times Square, and then right next to Times Square is Hell's Kitchen. I live right on the edge. So one side, if I look off my balcony, I see all the crazy tourists that want to visit New York City, and if I look to the other direction, I see the people that live here every day, like myself. So it's a very
oh,
interesting.
really? You are in a great spot then.
It's an interesting spot. It's a very interesting spot. But I was telling you off camera, because there's so much activity here, I love to go to the mountains to get a whole nother perspective. So when you told me you were in, you were at the La Paz now, that's why I was so excited, because it reminded me of some performances that I did in La Paz, Bolivia. The people of La Paz, the purple potatoes that grow on the roof. I don't know. It was very
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
had.
like it calls chuño.
What's
That
it
is a
called?
black one, right?
Yes, they were
It's
talking.
chuño.
That's it. Okay, they wanted me
Yeah.
to write a song about these purple black potatoes that they say are on the roof of the buildings.
Yes, you are right, sir. So you know La Paz City.
Yes, I love your country. I really do, and I love the area. I had a wonderful time there.
Oh, that's really, really great to hear. And obviously, for the listeners that are a lot from Bolivia, from La Paz too, and they are going to be really interested in these episodes then.
Well, it's good because I told you off camera it was called Thelonious. It's a jazz club named after Thelonious Monk, and you had told me you had heard of it. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay. So I really hope this podcast will reach them so you can say hello for me, because I haven't talked to them and seen them in so many years, and it's exciting that maybe some of them will see your podcast, and we can get reacquainted or something. At least we can catch up with each other this way.
Oh, yes, for sure. And I think that the networking is doing its work. So uh, just be in touch with some Bolivian guy to Chris DellaRatta. It's kind of weird, but it's really good to meet you at this point. So I'm really grateful for that. And Rick, I know that you have something for us, something like music or something.
I make up something special for every podcast appearance. So I'm going to do something for you that will never be played again, before or after. In fact, because I don't even know what it will be. And what I'll do is I often put it between a song that someone requests, because I get request. People know that I'm on podcasts all the time, and they say, hey, this is my favorite song. Can you play it on one of your podcasts? What do you think, or whatever? So one person, his name is Mel. I call him Melson just as a joke. I call him Melson, but his name is Mel. And he told me this is his favorite song if I could ever play it someday. It's by Traffic, an old band from the 1960s. And so I'm going to start out with that, and then I'm going to play this thing that, like I said, is just for you and just for the people watching. I don't even know what it's going to be myself, because it's for the moment in time, Memorial
Oh,
Day.
thank you for that.
It's for this moment in time, and then I'm going to just finish with a very familiar song by Earth, Wind, and Fire called "After the Love Is Gone." So I'll start out with that. I'll end up with this, and hopefully it'll all come out in the end.
Oh, thank you for that. So listen to this genius, and well, I think our people is going to love it.
Okay, let's see what happens. Thanks so much. If you see something that looks like a star is shooting up out of the ground, and your head is spinning from a loud guitar, you just can't escape from the sound. Don't worry too much, it'll happen to you. We were children once, playing with toys. And the thing that you're hearing is only the sound of a low spark of high-heeled voice. The percentage you're playing is too high a price while you're living beyond your dreams. And the man in the suit had just bought a new car from the profit he made from your dreams. But today I just read that the man was shot dead by a gun that didn't make any noise. But it wasn't the bullet that laid him to rest, was a low spark of high-heeled voice. Love was all we could do. We were young and we knew when our eyes were alive. Deep inside we knew our love was true. For a while we paid no mind to the past. We knew love would last every night. Something right would invite us to begin the dance. Something happened along the way. We used to be never said. Something happened along the way. Yesterday was all we had. used to be right is wrong. Can love that's lost be found?
Wow. It was really good. Thank you for that, Rick.
My pleasure.
Amazing.
So glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
No, yeah. It was a delight for my ears. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure to you, and like I said, to you and the people of Bolivia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rick. And I'm glad that you like a lot here South America, here Bolivia.
You know, when I was in Bolivia, I had a record called Live in Brazil. And my very first set that I played in the club, they came, I had 4 CDs. I had 4 CDs. And after the first set, I had no Live in Brazil CDs anymore. They came, they all wanted the Live in Brazil CD. So I mean, I love South America, but so do South Americans because they all bought the South American CD that I had.
But that's good. That's a really good um uh it's a really I think it's a really enjoying and a really different experience.
You know, it's a double CD. One CD was recorded in New York, down the street
Uh-huh.
here at the Blue Note, and it was supposed to be called Live in the Blue Note. And then I had some concerts in Brazil, and the promoter gave me the tape, and he said, "Rick, here's your next CD, Live in Brazil." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I already have Live in the Blue Note." So I checked with the Blue Note. I said, "Can I do, double CD?" And they said, "Sure, whatever you want to do." So it was a double CD called Live in the Blue Note in Brazil. So one CD was in the Blue Note here in New York. The other CD was in Brazil. Bolivia all wanted that one CD. That was the CD they bought right away, that one. So all I had for the rest of the week was my other CDs from America.
Oh, that's good. Really interesting.
It was good that I brought some other CDs, but I wish I had more of the Live in Brazil. I didn't know
Yeah, for
all
sure.
those went away. Yeah,
All day gone.
it was fun.
So, Rick, I'm going to ask you some really random questions about you. So, but before we dive in, what's something not music related that is exciting you this week?
Not music related. Well, I hmm. Well, one thing that's kind of exciting just for me, but it's not really related to music or anything, is we're finally starting to get some warmer weather here. I like to swim in New York. So I like to ski in mountains. I told you off camera that I love the mountains so much I like to ski. But in New York, I like to swim. And so now when the warm weather comes, the city will open up some outdoor swimming pools coming, in the next month or so. And those pools I get on a bike and I ride my bike all the way across town to another part of town. So it's a part of town I don't get to see. I like it. It's closer to where I used to live in the
Ah,
village. And there's an Olympic sized pool that's outdoors. And I will go there just when they open, me and a bunch of other lap swimmers. They're all people that like to swim for exercise. And right when they open, we go before all the crowds come and we swim a mile in this Olympic sized pool. So that's something I'm kind of looking forward to as I see the warmer weather coming. If you really,
oh, that's really interesting. You
yes,
like to go to I think maybe high temperatures, cold and hot, right?
you're right. I like to make the best of both options, but I'm glad you asked me that because nobody has asked me this question, and it is something, it's a little secret that I have. Now it's not a secret anymore from your show, but I literally look forward to when those pools open, because like I said, it's a living sized pool, but there's something special about swimming outdoors. If I could swim in
Yeah.
a lake, that would be even better. But just the outdoors, and it's different from indoors. You know what I mean? Swimming.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's different. You are contact nature and everything, but it's
Yeah,
it's
you
really
feel
good.
a little bit in touch with nature being outdoors and swimming. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So now I'm going to ask some questions. And Rick, if you had a personal AI assistant right now, what would you ask it to do it for you today?
Well, an AI, what's an AI could really help in these areas where artists don't really have representation, because it's a little bit of a catch-22. I mean, you have to
Uh,
already, you like, usually the label will has the money, so the record label maybe has the representatives that works for it. The artist doesn't really have that, because they're working for, the label, or they're working for, so often what AI people have told me is that AI creates things called agents, and I mean,
oh
art
yeah.
really does need an agent. That's what they often need. And sometimes you will work in a certain genre because you have an agent in that area. Another genre you want to work in, you have no agent in that area. So you want to work in that region, but you can't really do it because there's no one to represent you in that kind of thing. It might be more artistic. It might be more to your heart, your
Mm.
coração, as they say in Portuguese. But um, you need that representation. So if I was to, have AI do something for me, it would probably be related to the type of work that representative would do, that would represent you, where you don't have that person to do that. You only have limited representation.
Rick, if you had a personal AI assistant right now, what would you ask it to do it for you today?
Well, an AI what's an AI could really help in these areas where artists don't really have representation, because it's a little bit of a catch-22. I mean, you have to
Uh,
already, you like, usually the label will has the money, so the record label maybe has the representatives that works for it. The artist doesn't really have that, because they're working for, the label, or they're working for, so often what AI people have told me is that AI creates things called agents, and I mean,
oh
art
yeah.
really does need an agent. That's what they often need. And sometimes you will work in a certain genre because you have an agent in that area. Another genre you want to work in, you have no agent in that area. So you want to work in that region, but you can't really do it because there's no one to represent you in that kind of thing. It might be more artistic. It might be more to your heart, your
Mm.
coração, as they say in Portuguese. But you need that representation. So if I was to, have AI do something for me, it would probably be related to the type of work that representative would do, that would represent you, where you don't have that person to do that. You only have limited representation
Oh yeah.
by
So
human.
it's going to
'Cause
help you, right?
yeah, because you'll have a human being might be like, well, I represent this kind of thing. So I represent only this category. So I can
Mhm.
represent you, Rick, but only for this. Okay, what about
Yeah.
this? What about this? What about this? No, no, no. He only does this. So if AI could help me in these other areas where I don't have representation, and therefore it's hard for me to make the same progress that I can make in that other area where I do have limited representation. So that would be great if AI could do things like that.
Oh, that's really great. Great to know from an artist like you. So, Rick, how do you see technology and even AI playing a role in the future of music, culture, and maybe global initiative like yours?
Well, one thing that's been great for global initiative is this book. It's called Paving the Path for Peace Through Music: The Amazing Story
Mhm.
of Rick DellaRatta and Jazz for Peace. And this gives people a chance to not only really learn about all that what we've done, you know, like for example, Brazil, Bolivia. I've been to Bolivia, but as Rick DellaRatta, not as Jazz for Peace. And Bolivia, La Paz, is the city of peace. So, in other words, this book,
Yeah.
if it could ever be heard by the people of La Paz, that would be amazing because maybe I could come as Jazz for Peace to Brazil and present, you know, the my music, but also my heart and soul of how I believe the world can be a more peaceful place if we all collaborate together on peace. But that was done because I had a volunteer that had written an article, and she wanted to write a book, but it just seemed too overwhelming. And another friend of mine told me, he said, "Well, there's AI now, and there's you can ask the AI questions, and the AI will gather information from the internet for you, so that you don't have to go looking all over for it." And so when I
Mm.
told this volunteer, now the volunteer was like, "Well, let me ask it some questions and see." And she was able to get the information from AI to now condense it into a book. So AI played a big role in the fact that this book exists because the AI was able to provide information that would, you know, take forever to gather, and then
Yeah.
parse it and move it and you know do it, stuff like that. So little things like that. Sometimes AI will provide an outlay. For example, I wrote the forward to that book, and AI provided some type of textbook type of wording for a forward to a book, but I was able to
Mm.
take some of those sentences and then now put my own words in it. And so in other words, it looks a little bit more professional adding the AI stuff, but it looks, you know, you can still, if you read the forward, which I would love for anyone to read, it's about Mozart and it's an artist perspective
Oh.
point. So it's a very unique viewpoint of Mozart. If you go to Amazon and you put Paving the Path for Peaceful Music, we will let you read the forward. Even before you buy the book, you can click and read the forward. And you can see how the last few sentences were AI kind of showing me this is the template of how you're supposed to write this, you know, how it's supposed to look. And you'll see that in the last few sentences. But then I was able to put all of my own wording to make it a little bit more to make it still my heart and soul was in that forward, but also to just make it a little bit more professional looking rather than it just looks like something I wrote myself on a desk. You know what I mean? It looks a little
Okay.
bit like a professional forward to a book.
Oh, glad. I'm glad to hear that it's working for you, that it's helping you in a proper manner. And well, by the way that you are touching the Mozart, I used to just to let you know, I used to sing in my school with our teacher, the Requiem. I love the part of Mozart that it's the Confutatis, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I love that one, and I love Lacrimosa too.
Mhm.
I love that those parts because we were singing that kind of music there in school.
You
But
know,
it's beautiful.
one area that AI could really help us if AI could help
Mm.
artists to be heard during their lifetime rather than hundreds of years later. And that's something I bring out in the forward to my book. Nobody really heard Mozart during his lifetime. You know, I think it would be a big help if 1% of the world, even just 1%, was familiar with these types of artists while they were alive, because we love their music now, but their music now is a derivative. We're not in the time frame. So, in other words, if we were living in the time of Mozart and we got to hear his music, it would have a greater impact. And it might have a greater impact, a more positive impact on our world today if we were able to listen to the Mozart of today. Now, we don't know who that is, only the test of time will tell. But let's say a musician like me or something like that, if I was able to be heard by 1% of the world, then maybe my positive influence might rub off, even if I wasn't the next Mozart 100 years from now. We don't know what as time is going to tell, like I said. But the fact of the matter is, um, uh, an artist has the ability, and the art form of jazz has the ability to have a profoundly positive effect on a human being. So by 1% of the world instead of 0%, even going from 0 to 1%, many more people would have a more positive effect from the arts and culture. And maybe if AI
Yes,
could do that, that would be a dream come true.
yes, as you said, because they maybe understand a little bit more about the sense of that melody, that structure, that music, right?
Well, also because they're writing it in that time. So it's, in other words, you hear it in the actual time that it was written. You know, whatever was going on in that day, whatever, you know, whatever the challenges were of our humanity during that time, it has more power because you're hearing it. You're living in the same time that the music was created.
You're right. Definitely, will be helpful. Maybe something like that. So, Rick, can you share a particularly, I don't know, powerful or emotional moment from Jazz for Peace concert or initiative that you stayed with you?
Well, there's quite a few, but what one thing that's very powerful that happened only a few days ago was a woman who is an expert on human consciousness. She said she rates human consciousness from 20 to 600 and higher, even, you know, levels of human consciousness. And her belief is that if we raise our level of human consciousness, we can overcome problems and, you know, stop problems in the world. Very similar to the mission of Jazz for Peace, that if we help our world's most outstanding causes, we will have a better chance at avoiding the behavior that leads to destruction. Also, if we, you know, bring our greatest qualities, if we embrace our greatest qualities as people, we will have a better chance. And she actually, I said, so if I played something live for you, you would be able to rate that numerically and where it stands on the chart of human consciousness. And she said yes. So I performed live for her, and she gave it a rating live on the show. And her
Oh,
rating
really?
was 540, and peace is 600. So it was very high. The lowest form of human consciousness is 20. And from 20 to 200 is some of the things that lead us into difficulties with war and conflict and stuff like that. And once you get past 200, you get into things that could lead to peace, that could lead to finding solutions to problems, that could lead to getting along and collaborating in a positive way. And the jazz performance was at 540. So that was pretty good.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's really interesting because you are reaching something really high, right? That as you said, it becomes like peace.
When you are pleased, instant gratification.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
got it.
so instead of following my instant gratification option, which is click on this and look at the sensational material, right? But
Uh-huh.
you don't get much back when you look at sensational material, right? You get very little back. You get a quick high from the sensation. Oh my God, look at this crazy thing that happened that they did, you know, at this party, right? That's
Yeah.
fine, but if I had a choice, if I look at that summary, I might say, well, you know what? I'm going to get a lot back from this. I see they're talking about human solutions to human problems, reaching a higher level. Because one thing I do notice, and you notice it when you go to a lot of countries, you see ancient civilizations, and some of them were living at a higher level of human consciousness that we are now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
AI could help us consider, you know, getting to that potential. You know, we're not at our potential of human consciousness because we're kind of bogged down by all of the clickbait and all of the products and all of the things that people want to sell us. But anything that gets us to a higher level of human consciousness is extremely important right now, because
Yeah,
we are spending a lot of money on things that might not be helping people, you know, bombs and things like that.
you're
There's
right.
less money for the actual people. The money's there, but it's being spent on other things.
And other things. Yeah. It's interests just become in the middle, and that's, I don't know, it's going things kind of crazy instead of going great things, right?
Well, I think if there's money there, it could be spent on the people if we would all agree to be nice to each other. Maybe we could all get this money to be spent on us instead of the activity which loses the money. We never see it at the end, and then we have to clean up a very big mess of destruction. So maybe there's a way we can, but again, it's all going to come from a higher level of human consciousness. And so that's where AI could make a difference if it could convince us to raise our level of human consciousness. Embracing
Oh,
the arts and
yes.
culture is one of them, is one of those things.
Yeah, it could be a great initiative like this to do some kind of those things that you are saying.
Yeah, I mean, like the music I played, I don't know what she would rate my improvisation. I don't know. She's not here to rate it. But, she gave my last one a very high score. And my point is, we need to be existing more at that higher level. If we're just using music to sell alcohol or pure entertainment, we're not getting the most out of the arts and culture. And other past historical civilizations did tap into the full potential of the arts and culture. We should be doing that as well.
Rick, what would you tell to a young artist or a musician today who's feeling maybe in sometimes feeling overwhelmed by all of the tech and AI tools that are trending right now, and because everybody is, I don't know, it's astonished, I think, by some AI tools, and they are afraid of their jobs and everything. And there are young people that are trying to be a musician, but they think they are overwhelmed because of this explosion, right?
Yes, and it's crazy because this is where Jazz for Peace really comes into play. We have a long journey, and everyone wants to hear about our history now because there's usually a 25-year lag. Now we're getting up to the 25th anniversary of numerous landmarks of Jazz for Peace. The very first Jazz for Peace concert is coming up, the 25th anniversary, and then the concert at the United Nations where we brought together Israeli, Palestinian, and American jazz musicians. We're getting closer to the 25th. Every day we're getting closer to the 25th anniversary of that. So people are now finding, well, what was that? We didn't know about it. My mainstream media didn't tell me. How come I don't know this? So we have that past, but where Jazz for Peace can really play a role is in the future, because you are asking a question that you correctly think nobody has the answer for, and everybody wants to know, and all these young musicians want to know, except for one problem. Jazz for Peace actually has the answer for that. Just nobody knows we have it because they're just finding out about what we did 25 years ago. So if you want to find the answer to the question you ask, we answer it in 50 seconds, and you can type into a YouTube search, world problem solved in 50 seconds. Now, so this is what I'm trying to say. I have the solutions. Little old me, you would never think so. I don't even believe it myself, okay, folks? So I don't mind you not believing it. Even I can't believe this. But I have the solutions to these problems because of this crazy journey I've been on. Now, what you watched, you saw that they gave you another video to look at, right? In there.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing. So if you had clicked on that video, you would see what we were doing for 25 years that led me to these solutions. You would have, if you clicked on that. It's a 25th anniversary thing. So part of
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
25th anniversary of the United Nations event, which is coming, we know it's coming up, and we know more people are finding out about Jazz for Peace every day. We're putting out these little clips of our past so you can see how we got to where we are now. And if you clicked on that, you would see me up in the Bronx with the guy helping the blind and the handicapped build housing just for the handicapped people. These are the concerts we've been doing for outstanding causes, and this is the change in humanity that you're telling me people are worried about, rightly so. But I'm going to tell you the transition that solves this problem and how technology plays a big role. So what you've been seeing in the past up until now, they interview billionaires, and everybody wants, I want to be a billionaire like you. How are you? And you'll see a guy with $1 billion. He's got $1 billion. But what is he doing for humanity? He can't, he's trapped. He can't really do anything because he doesn't know what to do for humanity because he's not a humanitarian. He made $1 billion doing something, building development complexes. We don't know what, but that's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't know what to do with that money. And so the only thing he can tell you is how you can make $1 billion and you can be like him with $1 billion. But what he tells you is, and this guy that I played the song for, actually, he sent me information on someone who's a billionaire named, I forgot his name, Namer or something. And I watched this billionaire on a video. The billionaire was saying what they all say: your dreams and your passion, don't do that because you'll never make $1 billion. In fact, you might starve to death. Do something that makes $1 billion and be passionate about it. That's what they tell you to do. Fine. But now we can go to the next level with technology, making all this money from technology is able to do jobs that we were not passionate about, by the way. How passionate are you about making a hamburger? You know what I mean? How passionate were you? I mean, there's special guys that are going to make a special hamburger that AI can't make, and let them do that. But me, if flipping a hamburger, I don't need to, and now I can't do that job even if I wanted to because AI can do it. Let's just say, I don't know if that's a job that AI could do yet, but let's just say they can do my job. I wasn't passionate about the job to begin with. I was doing it because I needed the money so I could do what I was passionate about. But see, this changes that because now that money could be distributed to you so you can do what you're passionate about. Because what I've discovered by helping 850 of the world's most outstanding causes, that you are the solution. You people are the solution, because if I sit down with one of you and I talk to you, I will find out that you're passionate about something. For some reason or other, you're passionate about something that I could never do as well as you. I could never do it. You are passionate about it. That passion inside you is good, it's doing something good for the world, for humanity, that passion. You know what I mean? And so your problem is you have to do, like that billionaire, you had to do something else. And then with the leftover time, you're going to do your passion. No, with technology, we can, since you don't have to go to that job and technology's doing it, part of that money could be now help you to just do what you're passionate about and find people that can guide you along that passion. People like Jazz for Peace, who could, help you become, help you broaden your fan base, your donor base, help you become more supported, more prestigious, more publicized, etc., through our benefit concert series, and other people that can help you. But let's see what you can do with that passion. Now, from technology, we have the money because they're making the money anyway, even though you don't have to work that job. So that money's being made. That money, some of that money could be given to you, and let's see what you can do. And now you can get more money on an achievement level as you achieve with your passion that's good for the world, that solves one of our world's problems. And we have a boatload of them to solve. We have thousands of problems in this world that he's solving. I would say hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. So there's no shortage here. You're solving one of them. Let's help you. You could get bonuses and extra money based on your achievement. Because if you go to a web page called jazzforpeace.wordpress.com/about, if any of you people go there, and maybe you could even put that page up, I'll show you what Jazz for Peace has done with zero. You see what I mean? And if we had the opportunity that I want you to have, we would probably have helped over 850,000 of the world's most outstanding causes instead of only 850, which astonishes people. But I'm saying it could have been 850,000 if we were assisted in this way that I'm proposing, and of which the money now exist because we have machines doing these jobs instead of people, so that money can go to people. And so these are the types of different problems that we have solutions for.
So, Rick, and finally, we're going to wrap up. Where can people connect with you, follow your work, and support Jazz for Peace?
One way is info@jazzforpeace.com. So that's our email address. You can always send a comment, just whatever your thoughts are, whatever you're thinking, send it over to us. Like I watched Jose's, and say something. I thought it was interesting, or maybe, hey, I wonder if what you're talking about could help my organization. I have this, I have that does this, I have this dream, whatever it is. You send that. That comment is sometimes a seedling of an empowerment tree, and that's how we grow our funding model. So you can reach us at info@jazzforpeace.org. That is also Zelle. So you could make a donation to us through that email address through Zelle, Zelle. If you look that up, it's called Zelle payment. You guys are familiar with that? You're familiar with Zelle?
Oh, yeah, I used to
So that
use
is
it.
actually Zelle, but we do have PayPal. You can also say, I don't have Zelle, but I would like to make a donation. You can email us and we can help you. But of course, jazzforpeace.org is our website, rickdellaratta.com if you just want to find out about me. And there's so much stuff right now on the internet, I wouldn't even know where to look, unless you want to do something like put Rick DellaRatta famous quote, and you'll see something that has been attributed to me on all those famous quote websites. And that could be a starting place. I don't know, because I don't know what else they would give you to look on. They give you so many other things when you type in one thing.
Oh, yeah.
That might be interesting.
Okay, Rick, so now you can find Rick DellaRatta over the internet. You are a famous one, so I think they are going to find you in many ways over
Well, I
the
appreciate that.
social
Up
media.
until now, I was a legend in my own mind only, but Jose has confirmed that I guess I'm getting famous. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I
So,
appreciate
Rick,
that.
thank you so much for very insightful conversation. Thank you for your experience, and thank you for sharing us something about the intersection between tech and music.